All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with active BKFC undefeated featherweight, future champ in BKFC, 7-3 amateur MMA record, three-time Montana state finalist, right? Uh, thanks for joining us on the channel, man. I appreciate it. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great. And, thank you for that little intro. I almost, so much is going on right now. I almost forgot my wrestling career. I'm just kidding. I would never forget that awesome career. But
Well, you're coming off, a highlight reel KO, right? Over Daniel Gary in that last fight in your hometown, right? That's got to be special to fight on in your hometown on a big stage like BKFC. That's high level combat sports. What was that? Talk me through that KO? What was that feeling like?
man, like I thought that I always had a great following in my wrestling career. I feel like I always had a lot of cheers, but once I got to that worldwide pay-per-view stage, whenever I walked out, the crowd went absolutely crazy. It was like I couldn't help but smile. It's like kind of like in the parade of finalists. You always think you're going to walk out with the mean mug on your face, but in reality, once you walk out of that tunnel and people are cheering, it like you just feel good and you want to smile. But it was a picture perfect, flawless performance. We followed the game plan. I was trying to keep him on the outside, and then we got him close and landed that uppercut and put him out. So that's basically that. And then I've blown up since. So
Yeah, and you hit the McGregor strut afterwards too, right? Like
oh yeah.
that has to feel great. What's that feeling like? What's going through your head
So
after you get that finish?
whenever I got that finish, like because the fight technically hadn't even been called yet, because he had 10 seconds to get to his feet, but I was so confident with the connection. I was so confident with what he looked like, and the crowd was cheering. Everybody says that I have that McGregor vibe, so I was like, screw it, I'm gonna do it. So I did it, and that was the highlight of like everything. Everybody keeps mentioning that, like, wow, this guy has that it factor about it. And so now it's just trying to piggyback off that, get into my next
Yeah.
fight, blow up.
Yeah, it feels like you were like in that hometown crowd like McGregor when he was in Ireland. Just I don't know, you're like the Montana McGregor in that moment, right? And now you're gonna move on to becoming your own. Someone's gonna be looking up to you, being like, "I'm the Kai Stewart of my area someday," right? Like,
Hell
it
yeah.
was
Yeah.
awesome.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Like I'm very business oriented, and we're really, and I think McGregor did his business right. I'm doing my business right. I think we got a lot going for us. So
You're a businessman. Aside from the April Fool's prank with the bare knuckle gloves, I love that. That was awesome.
heck yeah, thank you, thank you.
I wanted to ask though, why Hefty Bag as the nickname? Fighters have some fun nicknames, some fun backgrounds or some backgrounds.
There, this background, it just goes back to my wrestling career. One of my coaches like Hefty Bag, and then he that got into my MMA coach's ear, and he's like, "That's your nickname." So now we just say it's Hefty Bag. We're cashing checks, bro. We're making money. So it's kind of stuck. Everybody's starting to like it. The ring announcer for BKSC says he's announced probably 10,000 nicknames, and mine is the best one. Mine is his favorite. So that made me feel pretty good. So
It definitely sticks out. It's memorable. But
hell
I
yeah.
guess speaking of the, I guess ring announcer, any favorite fighters that you have to watch? BKFC, MMA, boxing, anyone that sticks out that they come on, you love to watch them.
Well, a regional amateur MMA fighter that I am Muay Thai kickboxer is my girlfriend Dakota Rhodes. She's always my favorite to watch. She's my favorite fighter. But you gotta like Sean O'Malley. He's from Montana. You gotta strut that. I McGregor. I hope he fights soon. BKFC. You know, I don't know. That Christine Faria, she's tough. She's a fun fighter to watch. I don't really know who's my favorite BKFC fighter other than myself, which makes me sound conceited, but I mean, I don't really I'm not that big of a student in a sport. I just found success there, and that's kind of why I'm rolling with it.
Yeah, is this
So
is this BKFC run, is this a long-term thing for you? It kind of sounds like from interviews you're thinking more towards MMA long run or BKFC long run.
um I am ranked right now
Yeah.
in BKFC. So the title's getting kind of dangled in front of me like I'm a big old fish and I'm gonna bite and I'm gonna win it. So I'm trying to win the belt. Once I win that belt, which I think is soon, I think back to MMA would be fun, or just kind of I want to hear both sides of the story, because in the end it's a game of money,
Yeah.
and I'm here to make money. So
Well, you're saying all the right things. And speaking of that belt, getting that belt, look at the rankings of 145. What are your thoughts on that whole division? I mean, you made a diss track on the division. I haven't heard it yet. Reaction coming soon to that, a little breakdown on it. But what are your thoughts on this whole 145 division? There's no belt, so
yeah.
you're coming
I
for
think
it.
it's weak, man. I truly believe that I'm in the running for that belt. I don't
Yeah.
think anybody's levels above me, but I also I don't think that they're as good as me.
Mhm.
Being a wrestler, it's wrestler mindset, and like everyone's like, oh, Howard Davis is such a great boxer and blah 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 blah, but it's like, we're not boxing, we're bare knuckle boxing, and it's a lot different. Like, I'm gonna punch him in the face and I'm gonna win that belt, and we're gonna go from there.
Yeah.
But Steve-O, I don't know, he has like a 4-11 MMA record, or 8-11, or something stupid. He I don't know. He's another one of those guys that's decent. He's tough. But he's not me. They're not me. That's the whole thing. And I'm willing to walk through glass. I'm willing to crawl through glass, fire, whatever I got to do to achieve my goals.
Yeah,
So,
and that's the thing about BKFC. One shot, you get cracked by one shot at the start of the fight, right? Like that's how a fight
exactly.
changes.
Exactly. That's why they all have punchers' chances. I'm going to give them their respect where respect is due. But whenever it comes to, if we're doing skill for skill, I don't see a better person in 145
Yeah.
division. I really don't.
I guess I kind of wanted to ask you. You're a professional athlete, right? So I was curious about what your daily routine is like. What are you taking any supplements? What's the diet like? What's everything like with you?
You know, I am a professional athlete, and right now I'm kind of on a vacation. I've been training a little bit. I go to my girlfriend's gym. I help her. She's helping me. But whenever fight camp comes around, that's whenever things get crazy. I want to shout out AG1, which is Athletic Greens. I'm always taking my Athletic Greens. Um, and Total Nutrition and Tanning in Great Falls with Field supplements. I'm taking their pre-workout. I'm taking their recovery drink. That's pretty much the extent of all my supplements that I'm taking. But
Yeah.
training schedule is pretty straightforward and do pretty much the same thing. But I have a morning lift. I try to get my lift just done out of the way. I'm going to work on getting more runs in. I was in college, so I didn't have enough time to get all my stuff in. But I'm going to do a run after my morning lift, and then we go into a yoga session around noon, and then we're going to go into my cardio, my actual MMA training, and then I end the night with a bike ride. So that's basically what I do every single day, and the technique changes, and I do different lifts every day, but I try to get 3 to 4 workouts in a day.
Dang,
That's
full-time fighter.
adequate, and it sucks. It definitely sucks, but I think that's also why I'm the toughest person mentally, physically. I think it's hard to beat a wrestler because wrestlers are
Yeah.
used to that grind.
Yeah. I think you said something like that in a post-fight interview, I think from your last fight, about how you're a wrestler, so you're
Yeah,
gonna get it
right
done.
after the
Like,
fight, it doesn't pick up anything, but for some reason it picked up me saying, I'm a wrestler. I'm a wrestler. And I was like, yeah, I am a wrestler. Like,
it's like a mantra that you carried into this BKFC career.
yeah, for
Right?
real. This cord is so annoying, but it worked there.
Working
But
through
yeah,
it.
I'm excited for what's to come. I don't really know exactly what's going on, but I know that there's some huge things within the next few weeks that I'm going to be working on. So yeah,
Awesome.
so much room for growth because I'm only 21 years old.
You're the youngest fighter on the roster, right? On the
Yep,
BKFC
yep.
roster.
For now, there's a lot of people
At
catching
the
on, and
moment.
I think there's technically, I don't think they'll ever legally let somebody under the age of 18 fight bare knuckle.
Yeah.
But that's 3 years sooner than me, so someone's probably going to break that record eventually. But for now, I am the youngest. So
Is that like a cool feeling? Like is it just separate you more, or is it kind of just
it,
whatever? You're young.
I think I have a faster recovery time, and like, because a lot of the guys, I think I have a clear advantage. A lot of these guys in bare knuckle come from a martial arts background where they've already taken so much damage in their career.
Yeah.
I am so fresh. Like, I have no injuries that like even my knee surgery wasn't even an injury. There was just some gunk in there. They cleaned it out, and like there's no problems with my knee now. So it's like I am so fresh. That definitely I think plays a factor, but also it's a little bit special to me. It's not crazy special, but it's like I'm different. I am starting my pro career in bare knuckle. All these other guys have their MMA careers behind them, and I'm doing bare knuckle first. So that's like kind of something there.
Do you feel like you're gonna do this thing backwards, or is that just kind of yeah?
Definitely, because I still have 6 to 7 years before I'm peak physical condition. So let's make some money, let's stack some cash, break people's faces, and get back to MMA as soon as whenever I get done, sick and tired of bare knuckle, I can move on. So
Yeah. Well, are you still in college right now? I saw some things about that, and
so for the summer, I'm out, but
yeah.
I am going to be back in classes next September. So I'm still a student. I'm enrolled. I have my classes scheduled, but I am still there. So
Yeah.
it's gonna. I want to be a national All-American. I really want to be an All-American or a champion, and I think I put in the work to do it. There's just been circumstances where I haven't got to wrestle yet. So I'm gonna wrestle until I can't.
Yeah.
So
And has that been hard balancing bare knuckle in school too, or is that a skill you've learned from being an athlete, and going to school for your time in high school and now in college?
yeah. Man, I just something keeps playing over in my head. It's I'm gonna be the best, and if you're gonna be the best at whatever you do, you have to dedicate everything to it. And if I don't, like, I'd never go out on weekends other than after my fights. I don't like. I'm so busy. I'm so tired, but I'm going to do what I have to do to be the best. So, and I know that being in college wrestling, being a college student, it's all important. So, you do what you got to do to be the best. That's my answer.
Well, I guess another thing I was kind of curious about, just from bare knuckle boxers as a whole, is there any like concern about like knuckle conditioning, like breaking your knuckles every fight? I mean, are you just kind of conditioning in the gym, hitting faces, bags, and mitts?
I definitely condition my hands quite a bit, but it's like a fear. That's why it's not the smartest sport to do.
Yeah.
It really isn't, but it's awesome in its own aspect. But um, it's all placement, and the guys that throw wild punches and tend to miss and land on the hard parts of people's heads, like, you break your hands with gloves on. So imagine with no gloves on, you're going to break your hand. So if you're just methodological, or however you pronounce it, in your training and your placement, you're going to be fine. Because I mean, I'm 2 fights deep with 0 injuries, but I know other people that shatter their hands.
Yeah, and that's something you hear about even in MMA a lot. So I wanted to hear about that. I guess another thing I was kind of curious about, you've been at 35 once, right, in your career, right, at 135, in the amateurs, and then you fought it.
Yeah.
Have you fought at 55 too, correct?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. And 160, 155, 145, and 135.
dang, is 45 your weight class though? Do you think you're gonna rule over that?
I'm gonna be a problem at 145 until, because like I said, I'm still growing. I'm young. I'm 21. So I fill in, maybe I'll go up, but if I do everything right, I make weight very easily. I did mess up one time in my entire career, one time. And that's just because I was kind of in a, like, my weight cut and not like too much, and I wasn't too cautious, and it fucked me. It bit me in the ass, and my body shut down. So I had no choice medically, but it was my fault that it happened. But 145 is my spot. I'm so comfortable there. I feel good, and I'm huge.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to hold you too long, so just a couple more, or just a few more. So I was curious, when you're older, what do you think the biggest accomplishment that you're gonna have accomplished in your career that you're gonna be the most proud of? Like, I don't know, you dig up an old box when you're like 60 or 70. You see, is there gonna be belts in there? Is gonna be like just some magazines saying pound for pound best fighter in the world? Like, what do you think that accomplishment will be, and what are you gonna be the most proud of?
Well, get away from fighting a little bit, I would probably say when me and Dakota are chilling with each other down the road, I think that's going to be my biggest accomplishment. She's an amazing, but athletically, my biggest accomplishment. I want a UFC title, man, or a Bellator title. The UFC title, it's not as big as a UFC title, but I mean that would mean a lot. But I think the UFC is definitely the major goal, and I think I can do it. I'm a wrestler. My striking is getting better. I'm still so far away from done. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. So it's like I have so much room for growth. I don't see anybody stopping me. There's no ceiling as of right now.
Yeah. I guess adding on to that, what's it like having your girlfriend, having your partner in the same like area of work as you in such a dangerous field, like
I know.
is it
So
nerve-wracking? What's that like?
So it's amazing because we understand each other. We understand that there's going to be mental roller coasters because of weight cutting, because of wins, because of losses. It's amazing that route. But whenever we have to watch each other fight, watching her fight is the scariest thing I've ever watched in my entire life. I have nothing more, but in the fight game, like you said, it takes one punch. That's all it takes. It's stacking, but in the 100% support. I think we both have the tools to help each other a long way.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's pretty much. I don't want to take too much longer. You said you're going to a concert. I gotta ask, what are you going to? Who are you going to watch? Listen
to? Justin Moore, is that his name? Or Granger. I know one guy is Granger and one guy is Moore. So I just bought the "Hey, we're going," and I was like, okay. I mean, I listened to quite a bit, but I suck at artist names. I know he has a couple songs that I know pretty well, so it'll be a good time. It's our first concert together, so I might as well. Nice. Might as well, because like I said, I don't go out. I don't have too much fun. I'm nose of the grindstone. I've looked at your YouTube channel though. Like, looks like you're nose of the grindstone.
Yeah, we're trying. We're getting close to 1,000, so we're getting there.
Oh yeah, we're so close. Hopefully after this video, we get you over that 1,000 mark. So
hopefully, I appreciate you coming on for the interview. Any socials to plug, I guess?
Yeah, so Kai HB145 on Instagram, Kai HB145 on TikTok, Kai Hefty Bag Stewart on Facebook, and my Twitch, I believe, is Hefty Bag MMA or Hefty Bag 145 or something like that, but that's not quite up and running yet, but we're going to be streaming on there full time starting next week. So
awesome. Well, there'll be links to all that down in the description below, and thank you. I appreciate the interview. I appreciate it.
Yeah, peace out, man. Stay in touch.